from the Lumberyard in Pullman, this is the Cougar Football Hour. Tonight's show is presented by Crimson and Gray. Visit them at 1096 Southeast Bishop Boulevard in Pullman, or find them at every Cougar Football Hour this season. Crimson and Gray, proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. Now, alongside Cougar head coach Jimmy Rogers, here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
Thanksgiving Eve. No better place to spend it than with all the Coug fans here at the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman. It is the Cougar Football Hour. The sad news is this is our final Cougar Football Hour of the season. The good news is we've got another home game to come. It will be Saturday, Senior Day. Cougs taking on Oregon State. And on that note, a reminder, we've got a special giveaway tonight. Stop by the Crimson and Gray table to enter for a chance to win 4 tickets to Saturday's game. Cougs taking on Oregon State. Saturday, 3:30 kickoff. One grand prize winner will also receive a Cougar Den VIP hospitality passes, 4 of them, for an unforgettable pregame experience. So we'll recap that matchup with James Madison. Great collection of guests here tonight. We'll have GM of the WSU football program, Ricky Ciccone, stopping by. We'll talk with him. Senior defensive end Buddha Pleti also joining us. But here we are, as always, with the head coach of the Cougs, Jimmy Rogers. Coach, good to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great. Here we go. We're back at home. We got that matchup, Senior Day, coming up on Saturday against Oregon State. And before we look ahead to that kickoff, it's Senior Day. There's a lot going on. It's Senior Day, the final regular season game. A lot that could be gained in this one for Washington State. But looking back first on that most recent matchup, Saturday, going all the way to Harrisonburg, Virginia, taking on the 21st ranked team in the country in James Madison. Tight one, JMU getting the victory 24-20. How do you look back on that game?
Yeah, I thought collectively, offense, defense, special teams, we played really well in the first half, and we came out and we kind of got away from us in the fourth quarter, and it's an unfortunate situation. Defensively, I thought we played really well. There was an 8.5-minute drive there in the third quarter, which kind of killed our ability to make the most of it there in the fourth. Just they took the clock. We stopped them on fourth down. We were able to flip the field, and then we gave up an explosive play. And it's something that we haven't done the whole season, really, is give up explosive plays. It's something that we pride ourselves on defensively not doing. And there's a couple plays in there, obviously, that we would want back. And that happened, offensively, too. The pick six killed us a little bit, and we were able to respond, and we just got to be able to close out games the right way. We've been so close in so many games versus ranked teams. 4 of our losses come to a point differential of 12 points. And so I think that we've shown how competitive we can be, and I think we've been able to close out some games the right way, whether it be Toledo or La Tech or we need to continuously just finish, and we're going to have a tough one this weekend, and we got to make sure that we're locked into it because it will punch our ticket to a bowl game.
And you mentioned the opponents, and you look at how this year has unfolded. It's a non-traditional schedule, the way it's worked out this year, but 8 of WSU's 11 opponents are bowl eligible. 3 are ranked in the top 25 poll, and then 2 are receiving votes as well. Just the way the schedule has worked out, where some of these teams, James Madison, North Texas, San Diego State, and then obviously what Ole Miss and Virginia are doing. I mean, these are historic seasons for them. That just happens to be the time when the Cougs catch them.
Yeah, there's no question. I don't pick the schedule. I just we try to prepare a team to go play them. But, yeah, they're good teams. JMU is a good team. San Diego State is turned out to be a really good win. But we need to be able to close out games. I don't think nobody's giving you a high five for finishing second place. So, in the end, we can look back, and maybe the most important thing is how we lost. We got to learn from it with the youth on our team because they've experienced it, and I think that's how you grow as a program. And not just necessarily the schematics, but the emotions of the game, how it felt overcoming those, as a team, like learning from that moment and not allowing it to happen. And myself, the coaching staff, we just got to continue to put our players in a better position.
In the second half, the Cougs were without Brock Dew, second time. He's had an injury this year that's kept him out for the good portion of a game. The other one, the first matchup with Oregon State. How was it adapting without Brock Dew, who has been a mainstay at center? He's made 31 consecutive starts when you factor in the JMU game.
Yeah, obviously Brock has some of the most snaps on our entire football team, not just at the offensive line position, and he plays a pivotal role in our success as far as playing center. But I was proud of Kyle Martin, stepped in again, and for the most part played pretty well. But it's hard to make up experience, right? And so when you have experienced players, guys that have been in that moment, obviously you'd love to have them in there. But I was proud of Kmart. He came in and we battled, and we didn't secure the win. So we'll learn from it and grow and take the next step.
Definite bright spot in the game, the performance of Maxwell Woods. Ended up having a season high of 10 carries, 43 yards, also 28 receiving yards. What kind of spark did he provide for the team on Saturday?
Yeah, I thought he played really well. You know, he hasn't gotten the carries maybe that he would want, but there's 4 capable running backs right now that are in the rotation. It's hard to get them all the same amount of carries, and Leo went down a little bit with the shoulder. Shoulder's been bugging him, and he stepped in and he made the most of his reps, and we just kept giving him the ball, and the holes that he was finding and the ability to separate and make critical plays kept drives alive, which was huge for us. And so I'm proud of him being locked in and ready for the moment, and then he made the most out of it for sure.
Looking ahead to Oregon State, we'll have our full matchup breakdown a little bit later on here in the Cougar Football Hour, but the senior day aspect of it, 25 seniors are going to be recognized. I'm just going to name check these guys real quick because we talk about them on the broadcast, but just these seniors who are going to be out there honored: Tucker Large, Angel Johnson, Colby Humphrey, Zevi Eckhouse, Jamari Colson, Caleb Francel, Buddha Pleti, who will be our guests tonight, Leighton Smithson, Leon Neal Jr., Jeremiah Noga, Josh Meredith, Matthew Durrance, Cale Reeder, Gavin Barthel, Carson Bruner, Parker McKenna, Ram Stevenson, Colton Peoples, Sony Finau, Christian Hilborn, Brock Dew, AJ Vaipulu, Adamola Filet, Darian Dalton, Ryan Harris, even Dylan Payne in there. 7 of those guys spending their entire careers at WSU, and very worthy round of applause for all those guys. What's it like for this week?
You needed to read that? I could just do it off the top of my head.
Well, do you want to do it backwards? How about alphabetical order?
No, I couldn't do that.
Well, I had my cheat sheet
No,
in
they've
front
been
of me
great
here.
though. I mean, this is a collection of people that have either stayed, came with me, or came from the outside. You'll hear from Buddha later, but a lot of guys that are all committed to a common goal and bought into it and worked extremely hard and do it with a certain level of spirit. It's been a joy to coach these guys. It's been a joy to get to know a lot of these players that I haven't been familiar with, and then it's somewhat bittersweet for me as far as having relationships, regardless of I just met them this year or the players that came with me with the prior experience. Just you spend so much time, so much of your life with the players, and then to see the ones that have been with you the longest in their growth, and then what feels like a lifetime goes by in a second. So sad to see them go, but I'm also really proud of these guys' career and how we've come together as a football team.
We've kind of touched on this throughout the season, but there's 75 new players, and we mentioned these 20 plus that this is their last shot. This is their final year of eligibility. How has it been seeing them all build that chemistry and have that locker room unity? Because the results on the field and what we've seen, it feels like even though these guys maybe haven't all played together for a long time, it's really come together in an impressive fashion.
I think you could see a culture of a team by how they handle adversity. This season hasn't been easy. We've had really tough losses. We've been so close in so many, and we've been dominant in other ones. But the one thing that really hasn't changed is the spirit about how they go to practice and the bounce in their step when they're with each other. And that just doesn't happen. That's created. And, I'm proud of the way we've come together in such a short time. Usually you have classes, right? You bring in a set of freshmen, and you bring in another set of freshmen, and you may take a transfer here or there. But this was a lot of transfers and new people in a new experience. And for those that stayed, whether they were one of these seniors or just another member on the football team that had stayed, they took some blind faith in a new staff. They've all been accepting, and they've all kind of owned their role and worked really hard at trying to be the best team that we could possibly be. And as long as we continue to keep the players here, we'll be able to stack classes and continue to have success.
Tonight's show is brought to you in part by Toyota Cougar Nation. Each time you bring your Toyota vehicle to be serviced at a local and participating Toyota dealership, you can receive a premium Washington State giveaway item as a member of the Toyota Rewards Program. Stay tuned for more information on how to become a Rewards Program member. We will take a break here from the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman. The Cougar Football Hour will roll on after this break. More to come with the head coach of the Cougs, Jimmy Rogers, and again our guest tonight, Ricky Ciccone, GM of the WSU football program, and also Buddha Pleti as well. You're listening to Cougar Football Hour on the Cougar Sports Network.
Get game day ready at Rosars. Rosars is a proud sponsor of WSU Athletics and your headquarters for keeping snacks stocked up for game time. You'll find the largest craft beer selection, local and imported wines, and all the makings for your favorite cocktails. And while you're there, stock up on your favorite deli snacks, pizza, rotisserie chickens, and ribs. Don't just watch the game, experience it with your favorite game time foods. Get game day ready at Rosars.
Alliant Employee Benefits is the Inland Northwest leader in employee benefit consulting and brokerage. Alliant is a difference maker, providing employee benefit solutions and problem solving while helping companies grow and protect their business. Alliant keeps its clients on the forefront of the benefit industry's constant evolution while improving the benefits experience for employees through better health outcomes and more cost-effective care. Give Alliant a call and see what they can do for you.
If you use natural gas, you recognize its blue flame. But natural gas is actually invisible and odorless. That's why Avista adds a rotten egg scent, in case there's ever a leak. If you smell natural gas at home, get outside fast. Don't flip switches or do anything to cause a spark. Go somewhere safe. Call 911. Then Avista. We'll take care of the problem and tell you when it's okay to return. Till then, it's a good excuse to visit the neighbors. Avista. We just want you to be safe.
Your audio home for all things Cougar Athletics is the Washington State Cougar Podcast Channel. Just search for Washington State Cougars on your favorite podcast platform to follow and subscribe to the official podcast home of the Cougs. Hear our original WSU Athletics podcast, plus replays from the Cougar Sports Network, including football pregame and postgame show coverage, full football game broadcast, and coaches shows. Find it all by searching for Washington State Cougars on your favorite podcast platform to start listening today.
A strong NIL program is fueling a new era for Cougar athletics. WSU is creating opportunities that attract elite talent, keep our stars in Pullman, and unite Cougs everywhere. You can now support NIL through a tax-deductible donation to the Cougar Athletic Fund by joining the Cougar Collective's 1890 Club. So you can join the CAF, make that tax-deductible donation. You can join the Cougar Collective's 1890 Club, or you can partner your business with a student-athlete through Play 5 Max. Together, we're building the foundation for long-term success in the new Pac-12. Go Cougs! And as we mentioned before, we welcome you back into the Cougar Football Hour, live from the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman. We've got the GM of the WSU football program, Ricky Ciccone, going to be one of our guests tonight. We're back here with the head coach of the Cougs, Jimmy Rogers. And before we talk about our guests, and Ricky being one of them, it's Thanksgiving tomorrow. We moved the show up a day to, I know there's going to be work to do, but there's going to be time for Thanksgiving dinner as well. What's Thanksgiving look like for the team?
Yeah, on Thursdays we get up and the routine for the players isn't changing until we finish practice. On Thursdays, we call it No Sweat Thursday. Our players will go out and it's really a hour and 15-minute walkthrough of the script, kind of moving down the field, red zone, short yardage, third down. But afterwards, we'll come together. Wade Hogue is putting on a meal for the team up in the club level of our stadium. So we'll go spend time with him and his family as they, put on that meal. So really appreciative to Wade and his family for doing that. And then our players will come back. Defensively, they do what is called a Thursday night script, and they kind of are in there. It's player-led. They communicate as they watch film. Offensively, they actually go out and do a run-through, another walk-through. It's usually they come back in the afternoon, but because our players after that run-through, they're going to get a little bit of a breather, a break, get treatment, and then they're going to go to their position coach's house for Thanksgiving dinner. So for me, I've been a part of so many special Thanksgivings just with football teams. This is typically a year where you would get a Thanksgiving dinner, and then we would be sending our players home for Thanksgiving because we had a first-round bye in the playoffs. And this year is just a little bit different because we're playing on the weekend. But overall, I think it's always fun to be preparing to play football during Thanksgiving. It means that, you're doing something right. So the calendar is a little bit different. I remember this in high school. This was always like a quarterfinal game or a semifinal game, and surely in high school when you were doing it the right way, it felt good because you knew that you were one of the few teams left playing for something. So excited for this to finish up the remainder of the week. I know a lot of our guys are excited to maybe get a meal outside of the Grey Dove because they're in the Grey Dove quite a bit, home-cooked meal, and be able to experience it with their teammates, I think, is always fun.
Sounds like a great day for the team tomorrow. And as we turn our attention to the guests, let's begin with Buddha Pleti. Coming in, transfer from New Mexico State, and he has definitely made an impact on the field. How would you describe what he brings to the team both on and off the field?
Yeah, I'd probably speak more to Buddha as what he is to the team as far as who he is as a leader, how he goes about his work, the charisma in which he has, the ability to connect with younger players and kind of guide them through maybe things that he's gone through in his life. I've loved having him on the team. He's been so important to us. He's an older veteran player. Him coming here on 1 year left, he's been huge. More than just what he does on the football field, but as far as what he does on the football field, it's pretty fun to watch. He's always given us spark plays inside of games. He's always got a great energy, and you can always count on him for a pass rush in a critical situation. So he's been huge, and I wish we had him longer, honestly. He's been a blessing to coach. Him and his teammates that came with him, all three of those guys, or the whole collection of players that came from New Mexico State have been unbelievable to be around. Just humble, hardworking players that do the right thing on and off the field, and they're easy to connect to, and they understand why we're trying to do what we do, which at times may be always the most challenging thing when you bring new players in that have come from different systems. They've been great for us, and he'll be missed surely from our staff.
Buddha Pleti, AJ Vaipulu, Malaki Ta'ase, those three guys from New Mexico State, and all definitely having an impact this year. And then the GM of the WSU football program, Ricky Ciccone, when fans hear that, that's not necessarily a term that they've associated with college football for a lot of years, but that's a very important role. How would you describe what he does for the program?
Yeah, he does a lot. He's really like my right-hand man with everything day to day. I spend more time with Ricky than anybody else outside of the assistant coaches when talking football. So much of this job, head coaching in college football, has changed just with NIL, and so he helps with player acquisition, player retention, in always watching. He guides our recruiting department. I would like to say that's like a well-oiled machine. There's a whole system in place from when we go out recruiting to how we film, send things back, and then we meet on it and we evaluate players nonstop. And he kind of, oversees all of that, and he's done a really, really good job. I'd be spending maybe right now with how many different things that there are these days without somebody like Ricky, and he's done a phenomenal job.
And when you got this job here at WSU, you had a lot of things on your plate, but filling that position, I would think, was a pretty big priority. What was that connection? How did you, I don't know whether you knew him in the past or if it was through kind of mutual connections where the recommendation was made, because, as you said, that's an important role, and having him fill that. Yeah,
it was through a mutual relationship of a former coach that I work with that was at Toledo when he was there, and I just was seeking out people that maybe he would recommend for certain things, and he was the first person that he brought up. Was able to call him, connect with him, see what he was about, and after a couple conversations, we felt like it would be a great fit, and he moved his whole family here, and I'm just glad that he trusted me and the opportunity to bring him here, and he's done an unbelievable job for us.
Well, looking forward to talking with Ricky and Buddha next. Coach, we'll let you loose for now. We'll have you back a little later on when we preview the matchup with Oregon State.
Awesome.
Again, that's the head coach of the Cougs, Jimmy Rogers, joining us here on the Cougar Football Hour. The Cougar Football Hour is presented by Crimson and Gray. Visit them at 1096 Southeast Bishop Boulevard in Pullman, or find them at every coach's show this season. Crimson and Gray, proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. We'll take a break. More from the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman after this. You're listening to the Cougar Football Hour on the Cougar Sports Network.
Hey, Thanksgiving turkey here. You know, the early bird, the harbinger of the holidays. Or at least I used to be. Until Northern Quest dropped this holiday Head Start giveaway on me. Now they're stealing the show with $60,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs before I can become a leftover sandwich. Whatever. Enjoy your $60,000. The Holiday Head Start at Northern Quest. Play daily to enter. Earn 4 times entries every Tuesday. Grand prize drawing this Sunday.
With the WSU debit card from Giza, it's hard to tell who's supporting who. When Coug fans use their WSU card, they show off their Coug pride and donations are made back to Cougar Athletics. But the card supports the Coug fan by helping them grow their money. So does the card support the Coug fan, or does the Coug fan support the card? It doesn't matter. All that matters is that the WSU card supports Cougar Athletics and your wallet at the same time. Get your WSU card at Giza.com. Checking account transaction requirements, terms and conditions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Oh, hey, welcome to gift wrapping. Whoa, Zoe Saldana.
Hey, can you wrap these, please?
Wow, iPhone 17s. You splurged.
At T-Mobile, you can get 4 iPhone 17s on them. The new center stage front camera is amazing for group selfies. It's the perfect gift for everyone.
I'm the worst. I only got my mom a robe.
Well, it's better than socks.
So I have to trade in my old phone, right?
No, at T-Mobile, there's no trade-ins needed when you switch. Keep your old phone or give it as a gift.
Incredible.
In fact, wrap up my old phone, too, for my Aunt Rosa. Forget that. Aunt Liz will be jealous.
Sounds like my family. Drama.
Oh, I got it. I'll give it to my abuela. I'll take reindeer paper with, hey, where are you going?
To T-Mobile. The holidays are better at T-Mobile. Get 4 iPhone 17s on us. No trade-in needed when you switch. Plus 4 lines for just $25 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 4 eligible board-ins on essentials for well-qualified customers. Auto pay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end in balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 256 gigabytes, $830 required. Visit T-Mobile.com.
We are back at the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman. It is the Cougar Football Hour, and it is brought to you, as always, in part by Northern Quest. Earn your bragging rights at Northern Quest with more slot machines, table games, restaurants, lounges, and luxury hotel rooms than anyone else in the region. Northern Quest, yes, the best. More at northernquest.com. And as we've been talking about the game coming up Saturday, it is Senior Day at Giza Field. Kickoff at 3:30. Our pregame coverage here on the Cougar Sports Network will come your way at 1:30 with the Coors Light Cougar Tailgate Show. Reminder, if you don't have your tickets, it's Thanksgiving coming up and maybe you haven't solidified your plans for Saturday, get your tickets. Be part of all the excitement at Giza Field this Saturday as the Cougs take on Oregon State. The Cougs with a win would secure bowl eligibility and, of course, send off the seniors with a victory in their final game at Giza Field. Get your tickets today at WSUCougars.com/tix. That is WSUCougars.com/TIX. And here we are. It's the Cougar Football Hour debut for someone who's very important for the program, the GM for the WSU football program, Ricky Ciccone. Ricky, thanks for being here. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm excellent. And how's life for you here in Pullman? I know for you and everyone on the staff that a whirlwind lasts roughly 11, 12 months. And here we are, the final game of the regular season. Signing day's coming up. There's a lot going on. How are things for you?
Yeah, things were good. I mean, you just got to take it day at a time and, have a good plan and, utilize the people that are around you and, try to attack every task at hand and, then kind of move on from there. So, but, yeah, I mean, it's been kind of a whirlwind. We hit the ground running. I got in town January 10th, and then, we've honestly kind of been nonstop ever since. So, in some ways, it's kind of hard to believe that, it's week 12, but in other ways, it seems like it's been a lot longer.
That's very fair. Well, GM, as we talked about with Jimmy Rogers, it's not necessarily a role that was super common around college football, let's say 5 years ago, but here you are in this critical spot for WSU. You just take us through your journey, your football journey, and that path that ultimately led you here to the Palouse.
Yeah, so my background's a little unique, I think, in this role. It was really of coaching. I played football at Mount Union, Division III school. I'm from Ohio. And then from there, I really got into coaching. I've coached at all different levels in terms of high school, teaching and coaching in high school, Division III, Division II. I've coached at the FBS level, and then, when I got into this role, this is year 10 really in this role, and it's obviously changed and evolved. But, it was really to get to the Division I level. It was an entry-level job, and it was a foot in the door, and it's still kind of, evolved, and then when they implemented the 10th assistant, I moved back on the field, but I was doing both jobs, and, really kind of at that point, something I had to give. And it's, college football has changed. I mean, it's drastically different, in terms of when I got into this at this level. We had one signing period. The transfer portal was non-existent, really. If you wanted to transfer, you had to be a true grad transfer. So it was really about high school recruitment, development, and you could project your roster. NIL wasn't a thing. So, it's just adapting and evolving and, trying to continue to grow and, be the best at what you can do.
And you had time at Toledo, I know, a Coug opponent this year. That was a big spot for you. And Jimmy Rogers down in Louisiana before that to most recently. Jimmy Rogers mentioned that mutual connection. You get a call from him, and you hadn't spent time in the Northwest in your career, but for you and your family, you get that call, and you're like, okay, this is a great opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, it was, honestly, I was at work, and one of my friends, texted me, and, 5 minutes later, my phone rang, and I didn't even have a chance to put Coach Rogers' cell phone number in my phone at that point. And I had people in and out of my office, and from there we connected, and kind of connected throughout. I called my wife, about the opportunity, and from there I'd worked with a guy that was on staff here years ago. He had a great experience here, and I went to school with another guy that, was a D coordinator here at one point, and, both enjoyed their experience. And, the thing that, in terms of the opportunity, I'd never been, to the Pacific Northwest till I actually showed up. But it was really about, the connection to, Coach Rogers and, just how he's, the success that he had in his career. And, I felt like we were pretty aligned in terms of, backgrounds to, how we viewed things. And, it's been a great opportunity and a great fit.
To give folks an idea as far as the coach or the staff for the Cougar football program that you're kind of overseeing, that you're helping to orchestrate and lead, just kind of take people behind the curtain, because I know you probably have to, I hope you have a good battery on your cell phone, because you at least are charging your phone a few times a day, you're texting, you're calling all day long, but there's just, you got a lot of plates that you're spinning.
Yeah, so in terms of the recruiting, so, we have 4 full-time guys that, work in recruiting in terms of just the straight player personnel side of things, with identifying, evaluating, staying on task with the film evaluation to the process that we have in place, from an evaluation standpoint. Then they work with specific coaches in terms of areas, so they, the coaches have a liaison there and somebody that they can lean on. And, the guys in the personnel have, really want it to be kind of, they're an expert on that position. Because they're going through and evaluating the tape, and they're ranking guys and building relationships. And then from there, we have a director of on-campus recruiting, and then from there it just kind of evolves, obviously, work with Coach Rogers, player evaluation, player identification, in some regards to player acquisition, and then from an administrative standpoint, when it comes to compliance to, our collective, to rev share, to kind of all encompassing.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's it has its moments, but it's I enjoy it, and I enjoy the challenge.
Well, there is so much to get to. We'll take a break. We'll talk more about that after this timeout. We're here with the GM of the Cougar football program, Ricky Ciccone. It is the Cougar Football Hour, still to come as well. We'll have Buddha Pleti stopping by, and also Jimmy Rogers will be back up here as we'll preview Saturday's matchup. It's Senior Day at Gisa Field, Cougs hosting Oregon State. This is the Cougar Football Hour on the Cougar Sports Network.
Get game day ready at Rosars. Rosars is a proud sponsor of WSU Athletics and your headquarters for keeping snacks stocked up for game time. You'll find the largest craft beer selection, local and imported wines, and all the makings for your favorite cocktails. And while you're there, stock up on your favorite deli snacks, pizza, rotisserie chickens, and ribs. Don't just watch the game, experience it with your favorite Game Time foods. Get game day ready at Rosars.
When putting in a tree or fence post, we all hate it when our shovel hits a big rock. But there are worse things to come across, like a natural gas or electric line. Nowadays, buried utilities are everywhere, some just below the surface. That's why it's the law to call 811 before you dig, to have your lines marked ahead of time. It's free for Avista residential customers. So call 811 2 business days before you dig. You need time to pick out that perfect shrub anyway. Avista, we just want you to be safe.
Hampton and Pullman is just a short drive from the Wazoo campus. They've got you covered for all your lodging and dining needs with the new addition of their on-site bar and restaurant, Crimson Bar and Bites. You will feel right at home with their spacious rooms, famous Hampton waffles, cozy outdoor patios, Cougar gift shop, and the friendliest staff in town. Visit HamptonbyHilton.com to reserve a room for your next trip to the Palouse. Coug owned and Coug managed. It matters where you stay. Hampton and Pullman. Hilton for the stay.
Your audio home for all things Cougar Athletics is the Washington State Cougar Podcast Channel. Just search for Washington State Cougars on your favorite podcast platform to follow and subscribe to the official podcast home of the Cougs. Hear our original WSU Athletics podcast, plus replays from the Cougar Sports Network, including football pregame and postgame show coverage, full football game broadcast, and coaches shows. Find it all by searching for Washington State Cougars on your favorite podcast platform to start listening today. This is the Cougar Football Hour. Tonight's show is presented by Crimson and Gray. Visit them at 1096 Southeast Bishop Boulevard in Pullman, or find them at every Cougar Football Hour this season. Crimson and Gray, proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. Once again, back to the Lumberyard Food Hall in downtown Pullman. Here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
WSU fans, want to support the team by just paying your phone bill? Switch to Cougs Mobile today at cougsmobile.com on the T-Mobile 5G network. Cougar Football Hour rolls on, our last edition of the season, but we'll use that as a little bit of a teaser. Of course, it's Senior Day Saturday with the Cougs taking on Oregon State. Right now, we're joined by Ricky Ciccone, GM of the WSU football program. But Ricky, I think we're going to have a chance to talk to you 1 week from today, so folks have this on your radar. We will have the Northern Quest Resort and Casino Cougar Football Signing Day Special, 9 to 11, at least starting at 9 o'clock, going kind of as long as it goes. But I know we've got a lot of exciting guys that we'll be touching on next week who are going to be future Cougs. And Ricky, on that note, what's it like gearing up for signing day, which is right around the corner?
Yeah, it's obviously it's an exciting time. The biggest thing is spend a lot of time trying to connect with the recruits and their family members. And believe it or not, it's changed. A lot of high school kids have agents now. That's just where it is. So trying to continue to build on those relationships. There's a reason why they chose WSU, and trying to hit on the reasons that they did so, and trying to close it out in a positive way. But we feel like it's a good class. It's a complete class. Currently we have 27 kids guys that are committed, 22 high school guys, 5 junior college guys, and really it's for us. It's about building it through high school recruitment, development, retention. And then in today's world, it's about veteran players and how we can supplement our roster in terms of, bridging the gap. We feel good where we're at, and, just looking to close.
Again, that is going to be 1 week from today. It's December 3rd. We will have a video. Myself, Alex Brink, will be there in the Cougar Football Complex. It will start at 9 o'clock. You can watch it live on Facebook Live. If you can't catch it live, if you can't sneak away for the whole show, if you're working that day, you can catch it on demand through the WSU Cougars YouTube page. It'll also be posted, the audio version, on the Washington State Cougars podcast platform as well. You use the word retention there. There's a lot to navigate in kind of every aspect of your job, but how is it just when it comes to the retention aspect of it?
Yeah, and that's at the forefront of it. These guys chose to come here for a reason. They want to be developed. They chose it for a reason in terms of the people and the overall experience. There's holistic development here. And, from that end, we have transparent conversations with our roster. We'll continue to do so. And, we want to retain the guys, that want to be here too, And so for us, that's a big deal because, that's how you continue to develop culture, right, with consistency. And what Coach Rogers and the rest of the coaching staff are continuing to, what we'll build off of, from year 1 to year 2. So I think it's pivotal. We need everybody's support on that too. So, part of that is, like it or not, that's just the stage of college football that we're in. We need to continue to grow, from a fundraising standpoint when it comes to rev share to NIL. And that's the reality of it, because this place, has a ton of opportunities, continue to grow. And I honestly, I don't think we've scratched the surface where we can be.
And you're hitting on that there. What do you want Coug fans to know most about when it comes to those contributions? You were mentioning it before about there's multiple ways to give that can make an impact when it comes to the seat that you're in and trying to be able to bring in these great Cougs, keep these great Cougs. What do you want fans to know about that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great ways and opportunities that you can continue to, show support and, and it's not just in terms of the dollar. It's about showing up and supporting and being a season ticket holder or, donating your time and being around and being available, and creating the best experience that these guys, can have, during, while they're in Pullman because, there still is a level of commitment and, pageantry to college football that makes it special and unique. And, we need everybody.
And I know there's a lot more factors that maybe make things more complicated than they were 5, 10, 15, 20, let's go back a ways. But whether it's the money and agents and all that, it's still so much of it comes down to relationships, right?
Yeah, I mean, it still is at the forefront of it, in terms of relationships. And, you always lean back into your relationships and, in terms of where you have them. And it's helped in terms of, the portal cycle. In terms of, when we were here in the spring to, the high school recruiting and then the overall retention of our roster. So it's still about transparency and still about people, but obviously the dollar is important and, we need to continue to grow that. And, there's different opportunities that, tax deductible opportunities, where people can contribute as well.
Well said there, and I kind of asked you off the air before, and I think you're being dead serious with me. Is this the busiest time of year? When's the busiest time of year? But truthfully, it's all kind of the busiest time of year, right?
Yeah, it kind of goes in peaks and valleys, but I mean, in terms of when you're talking about, recruiting, there's no downtime, so you're either recruiting or you're not. And, the biggest thing is, you got to do it on a daily basis, because if you're not recruiting, somebody else is. So, and I think still, in terms of this, you can still outwork people in recruiting. And, I firmly believe that. And I firmly believe that, it's about the relationships. And, if you invest in them personally and, you're giving up a lot in terms of, personally, in terms of, my time, with my wife and my kids. And, and that's part of it. And they understand that. And, that's just where it is,
I can only imagine. Appreciate all of your hard work for the Cougar football program. Keep up the great work, and excited to have you here tonight, but also looking forward to a conversation 1 week from today for signing day.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much for having me.
Again, that is Ricky Ciccone, GM of the WSU football program, joining us here on the Cougar Football Hour. Don't forget, you can listen to every Cougar football game and coaches show. That also goes for every basketball game as well with the WSU Cougars Game Day app. Take our broadcast with you wherever you go. Download the WSU Cougars Game Day app today. Available now in the Apple App Store or Google Play. But when we come back, we will have senior defensive end Buddha Pleti join us, and also Jimmy Rogers will be back up here a little bit later on as we'll preview Saturday's Senior Day matchup with Oregon State. This is the Cougar Football Hour, live from the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman on the Cougar Sports Network.
This Washington State University sports broadcast is brought to you in part by Pullman Regional Hospital, the official hospital of Washington State Athletics. Rural communities face unique healthcare challenges. By providing hands-on opportunities for WSU students in health sciences, nursing, pharmacy, and the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine, Pullman Regional Hospital is helping to shape the future of local healthcare. Learn more at pullmanregional.org. Pullman Regional Hospital and Washington State, partners in excellence.
Play, stay, get away at Clearwater River Casino in Lewiston, Idaho. Owned and operated by the Nez Perce Tribe. Experience Namipu hospitality with 600 gaming machines, comfortable lodging, dining, and sports bar. Excitement is everywhere. The region's premier destination for events and entertainment. Win big with unforgettable concerts, comedy shows, and live sports action. Discover your next play, stay, get away. Visit crcasino.com and start your adventure today.
Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes every moment cheering on your team even better. Plus, the mountains on the bottles and cans turn blue when your beer is Rocky Mountain cold. So you never have to guess if your Coors Light is ready to drink. So crack one open, take a sip, and enjoy the game. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Dear Traction, Toyota has 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. The RAV4 has legendary versatility. The Grand Highlander's adult-sized third row is for real. And the Tacoma's wild side comes standard. From job sites to campsites and game nights, there's an all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive Toyota to get you there in style. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Hour. It is our final edition of the Cougar Football Hour this season as we are getting ready for Senior Day Saturday, 3:30 kickoff. Cougs hosting Oregon State. Pregame coverage here on the Cougar Sports Network. We'll get started at 1:30, and we talked about our ticket giveaway here at the Lumberyard tonight. Well, we have our winner's grand prize, Karen Byer. Congratulations to Karen. Second place winner, Stacy Handiges. Congratulations to Stacy. And our third winner, Mark Byer. So head over to the Crimson and Gray table here at the Lumberyard and grab your prize. We look forward to seeing everyone out there on Saturday against Oregon State. I was about to say Buddha in action, but that will be you, the person right here next to me, Buddha Pleti, senior edge rusher for the Cougs. Thanks for being here tonight. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking.
Well, year one as a Coug, but it's also your senior year. You're coming here in your last season. How has the experience been here at Washington State?
It's been awesome. The people, the community, the collective. The collective's been awesome. Just seeing the community of people and how close they are and how much they love football and just love supporting. It's definitely very different from what I've had and what I know. So I've loved every piece of it. Coach Rogers he's a great coach, and the environment he builds around him, it's unlike any other. So.
Well, I look forward to talking with a lot of things about you, but let's start right here. Buddha. What is the backstory behind that name? Because that's a pretty unique name. You can scroll through a lot of rosters and might not come across a lot of Buddhas.
Yeah. When I was a baby, I was fat and bald. So, yeah. So, my family called me Bubba, but my granny thought it was hilarious because she thought I looked just like Buddha. So, since then, it's just kind of stuck. Yeah.
Granny knows best.
Yeah.
And it did, it stuck, and then is that what you've been known as throughout school to now, growing up as a kid?
Yeah. That's all everybody knows is just Buddha.
Well, there we go. And here you are in your final season at WSU, and we talked about it a little bit with Jimmy Rogers, but you came with some teammates. You were at New Mexico State. There's A.J. Vaipulu, Malaki Ta'ase. What was it like, you guys, I don't know to what degree together you kind of made the leap and said, hey, WSU's the spot for me, or when you're looking around, you come here, and it can't hurt with the familiarity knowing that you got these guys who you're close with that you're going to come into this new situation with.
Yeah. No, I remember when, Malaki was the first to hit the portal. I don't think we thought we were all going to end up in the same place, but when Malaki came here and then I got the offer and AJ got the offer, I lived with AJ, and I also lived with him at New Mexico State. So as soon as I committed, I kind of begged him. I was like, come on, you got to do it. Like, we could go be roommates again. But that also made the transition to coming here a lot easier, just having those guys that you've, been close to, you see those guys every day, and then coming to a new place and still seeing those guys every day, it definitely kind of eases you and eases your mind and But yeah, those are great guys, and I love them, and it really made this transition easy for me.
Well, Malaki on the defensive side with you, AJ coming in, starting offensive lineman, a guard for the Cougs, and thinking about the defense has performed at an incredibly high level this year, and to some degree there's been more than a fair share of next man up, but that depth has been on display. What's it been like to be part of that unit that has been so stingy against opposing offenses?
It's awesome. Every week, we all know that we have the same standard. We kind of come in with an expectation of what we're going to do, and a lot of the times we get it done. Obviously, there's a lot more that we got to do, and believe it or not, we still always expect a lot more out of ourselves. And
This is going to be on Saturday, not just senior day, but round 2 against Oregon State. Thinking back to that first matchup against the Beavers, you had 2 tackles for a loss in that game. What's it going to be like seeing the Beavers? And I know that first game, not the outcome the Cougs were hoping for, but have that second opportunity against Oregon State this year on Saturday.
It'll be nice. You don't get those opportunities too often, to play a team again. You don't get those you don't get to replay those mistakes that you made. And I feel like, over the course of these games, that loss is marinated for a lot of the guys, all of us really. It'll be nice to go back out there and, just kind of do what we didn't,
And that one was so close, but in Corvallis, and the chance to play that game in front of the home fans here, it's also senior day. What goes through your mind for you when you think about this? I'm sure the journey's gone by pretty quick, but this is your senior day.
I don't even believe that. It doesn't feel like it's senior day. It doesn't feel like it's going to be my last game or the last game that I'll have at a home stadium. And these years have flown by, and I'm just happy to know that the guys that are under me and the guys that are, underclass, and that we're not losing much. They're going to pick it up, and a lot of these guys are, like you said earlier, we have a next man up mindset, and it's easy to have that when you got so much talent in a room and a lot of guys that are so eager for that chance to play and just go out there and perform.
Will you have any family come to town for Saturday Senior Day?
Oh, yeah.
Who's coming? Oh, boy. Long list.
Oh, yeah, long list. All I can say is maybe about 25 people.
That many?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the whole Pleti family is going to take over the Palouse, is what it sounds like. 25. That's going to be awesome. So all family, just immediate family, and kind of spreading out from there?
Yeah.
That is fantastic. Well, we will look forward to seeing you for that Senior Day recognition and that big crowd out on the field before the game when you have your name called. And you kind of made reference to it before. So not just this big opportunity on Saturday against Oregon State to get a victory over the Beavers and to, kind of bounce back after that loss against them in the first matchup, but a win means the team is bowl eligible, so there is that possibility of playing an additional game. When you're in New Mexico State, the program reached 2 bowl games, so you've experienced that. How is it knowing that you've been through that before, and I'm sure you want so badly for you and all your teammates to have that kind of experience here this year?
Oh, honestly, I would love to have a bowl game because, those are the best moments. You get stuck with your team on Christmas sometimes, and you never know, you're not with your family, but you're with your family, you know what I mean? So it's a great feeling, and I would love for the guys who haven't got that feeling to go to a bowl game to have that feeling, because it's something that you'll never forget. And those 2 bowl games that I have had, I'll never forget the things that happened there, and the people I spent that time with, and I would love to go and have another opportunity to just be with these guys and be with my family here.
Well, let's hope that is the case in the future for the team. And for you, when it comes to life after your final year of college eligibility, what's on the horizon? Try to play football as long as possible?
Yeah, for sure. Try to play football as long as possible and just give it a shot, knowing that I tried. And after that, just going to leave it to God, just kind of see where that takes me.
Well, everyone's glad that your path brought you here to the Palouse. It's been great seeing you in crimson and gray this year. Congrats on making such an impact this season, and can't wait for you to have that experience with your family on Saturday and for Senior Day coming up.
Thank you.
Again, that is Buddha Pleti joining us here on the Cougar Football Hour. We're talking about that matchup Saturday with Oregon State. We'll have more on the matchup with the Beavers. When we come back, Jimmy Rogers will be back up here. We'll have our opponent preview, Oregon State Round 2. That's after this timeout. You're listening to the Cougar Football Hour on the Cougar Sports Network.
Cougs Coug fans, don't miss a single play this season while camping on the Oregon coast, in the Sonoran Desert, or in the wilderness of Yellowstone in an RV from Valley RV Supercenter. Valley RVs can come with all the technologies you'll need so you never miss a down, wherever you are. Better yet, why not work on your pregame skills at an away game or in the Palouse, where tailgating was perfected. We're a proud Coug supporter. Come see us in Kent or at ValleyRVSupercenter.com, where journeys begin.
Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes every moment cheering on your team even better. Plus, the mountains on the bottles and cans turn blue when your beer is Rocky Mountain cold, so you never have to guess if your Coors Light is ready to drink. So, crack one open, take a sip, and enjoy the game. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Dear Traction, Toyota has 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. The RAV4 has legendary versatility. The Grand Highlander's adult-sized third row is for real. And the Tacoma's wild side comes standard. From job sites to campsites and game nights, there's an all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive Toyota to get you there in style. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
On game day, Pullman heads to the Lumberyard Food Hall. Enjoy burgers and drinks from Timber, island favorites from Island Grill, and bold Colombian flavors from Mi Rinconcito Colombiano. And when the sun goes down, dancing every Friday and Saturday night, 18 and older after 10 p.m. There's something for everyone at the Lumberyard Food Hall in downtown Pullman.
We are back. It is the Cougar Football Hour live from the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman. The Junior Cougs Kids Club is presented by Toyota. It is the official kids club of the Washington State Cougars. It is the best way for the youngest members of Cougar Nation to show off their Cougar pride. Find out more information about your Junior Cougs membership perks at wsucougars.com/JRCougs. And it is time now for the opponent preview presented by Coors Light. Choose chill, proud partner of Cougar Athletics. Celebrate responsibly. Let's dive into this week's matchup. Back here with the head coach of the Cougs, Jimmy Rogers. Okay, round 2 against Oregon State. What's it been like? And I know this isn't completely unfamiliar to you. When you were at South Dakota State, you'd have this in the playoffs where you'd face a familiar opponent for the second time. But here we are this year. It's going to be round 2 against the Beavers.
I would say it's unique just how fast the turnaround was. You know, they had a bye week the first time that they played us, and they have a bye week again. So they've only played 2 games since. So there's not a ton of film that we haven't already seen or watched outside of the couple games. But obviously they're in a unique situation, and we're on the fringe of getting into a bowl game. And we need to come out and execute and play fast and play physical and confident, and I'm just excited that we get to do it here in Pullman this time.
Can't wait for that. That is Saturday, Senior Day. And one quick question before we'll take our final time out here. Coming from audience member Matt Kylo, does playing OSU for a second time help in game planning for the weekend?
It does, and then you have to expect the unexpected. You're playing a team that has absolutely nothing to lose with, nowadays in the college landscape, you don't know what to expect. But they have talent on their team, there's no question. So we got to come out and be same thing, be physical and make sure that we're locked in and be alert of really anything that they could throw at you.
Saturday, 3:30 kickoff. Our coverage, the Coors Light Cougar Tailgate Show, gets started at 1:30. We'll take another timeout. We'll be back with Jimmy Rogers after this. We're live at the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman. It is the Cougar Football Hour on the Cougar Sports Network.
Nothing works up an appetite like cheering for your Cougs on game day. So why not cheer them on at Northern Quest with an impressive roster of restaurants and lounges? You can tackle the menu at Epic and catch every play on the 10 by 30-foot screen. Or grab a steak at Maslow's, a fine cigar at Legends of Fire, even a burger from Fat Burger. For your inner linebacker. See more at northernquest.com. Go Cougs!
Look, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. But if you're a WSU fan and you haven't switched your phone service to Cougs Mobile, you're leaving points on the field. Here's the deal. You get exclusive game day perks, and Cougs Mobile contributes to WSU athletics every time you pay your monthly bill. No contracts, no hidden fees, no reason to wait. Switch now to the only phone plan built for Coug fans and on the T-Mobile 5G network. Visit CougsMobile.com.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Back. It is the Cougar Football Hour here at the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman. We're with the head coach of the Cougs, Jimmy Rogers. It's our final Cougar Football Hour, but 1 week from today, 9 a.m., we will have our Cougar Football Special Signing Day show. It is presented by Northern Quest Resort and Casino. We're excited for that. 9 a.m., 1 week from today. We're saving the hard-hitting questions for the last segment of the last show. Okay, tomorrow, what goes on your plate for Thanksgiving dinner?
I don't know, whatever my wife decides to make, but I'm not a big turkey guy, but if I'm going to do turkey, it's dark turkey, and we usually do Thanksgiving with her family. Obviously, we're not doing that this year, but we'd have prime rib or ribs, but my favorite dish is probably green bean casserole.
Okay, well, that works perfectly for Thanksgiving, so good to know. Jimmy Rogers officially gives the stamp of approval on the green bean casserole. This one we've talked about before, but we haven't discussed it on the air. If you weren't coaching, what would you be doing?
Probably be cutting grass. I love cutting the grass. There's something relaxing about it. From start to finish, it's something that you can see a finished product on, and I've always enjoyed it.
So your lawn must be immaculate, I'm guessing?
You know what? It's killing me that it's not, but we got a lot of weeds out here. We're trying to work on that right now.
We got to get you that right mix of fertilizer. We'll get that dialed in for you.
Anybody that wants to come out and help with it, I'd surely appreciate it.
Okay, when I asked you that question off the air before, there was a second answer that was in contention. What was that? I remember it. Do you want a refresher?
You know, I've never done it, but I'm a big coffee drinker, so brewing coffee, start to finish. My in-laws have a coffee place. It's a brewery / coffee roastery, so I've always been intrigued by it.
That's fascinating. I feel like attention to detail, that's the common theme through it all.
Maybe, yeah. That from start to finish.
Hey, appreciate it tonight and throughout the season. Can't wait for Saturday. That is Jimmy Rogers, the head coach of the Cougs. This is our final Cougar Football Hour of the season. Can't wait for Saturday. It is senior day. Thanks to everyone on the show tonight. Jimmy Rogers, Ricky Ciccone, and Buddha Pleti for the folks who make it possible. Jared Pringruber on the video side, Jerry Kylo on the audio side, Zane Saggio back in the Cougar Sports Network studio. I'm Chris King signing off. Thanks to the Lumberyard here in downtown Pullman. This has been the Cougar Football Hour on the Cougar Sports Network.